Hey, wake up! Ready for some spiritual? Welcome to the Good Info Cafe. Welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. I'm JK. Today, as it is in heaven on earth, as it is in heaven. So, I don't have my shofar, but I have my hand in my mouth. So it really comes from the horn of a goat, a ram's horn. I don't have my brushes, but I got my fingers and my arms and my hands. So good to be here with you at the Good Info Cafe. This Sunday I did the rehearsal with warts and all. We're going to be singing it this Sunday coming up as a patriotic song for the 4th of July. So this Sunday in church. No man, no madness, though their sad power may prevail, can possess, conquer my country's heart. They rise to fail. All the control freaks. That's how I read that. These are control freaks trying to tell people where their country, what they have to do, and the country is in here, and the core of the country, and you got all these control freak types. So, today, I'm going to talk about Love Your Enemies, the lyrics to that song, and honor Jenny. So, my question is about the Middle East peace plan for the question of the day, the QOTD. The President Trump administration Middle East peace plan, will it work? And where does it fit in with Bible end times? And once again, Jenny, Task Force, and I would talk about, it would always be about Book of Revelation. It would always end up going there. And I think I told this story. That's her first. She was not brought up religious, and her introduction to Christianity and the Bible is the Book of Revelations. That's the first book she read. And then she ended up just seeing how amazing it was and is. And then the word Aji, and if I had my board, I'd write it down, but Auzgie, Aji. And then the boat tour, the GIC, Good Info Cafe, it just really wasn't fitting in with that. It's John and Mark and George, and the boat is noisy and all that. So it looks like we're going to try to do a Thursday night information literacy and music and fun and hope of that weekend. So if it's Saturday, the 20th of July, 18th. So Thursday, July 18th, where we would do something with the Good Info Cafe, or at least the information literacy, the music and the fun and the hope. So keep tuned in for that to be confirmed, etc. I just talked to George about that yesterday. So I don't plan to be on the boat on Saturday. I'm not sure what Friday night exactly is, but I will, to fit in people's budget. I'm already picking up somebody from at the airport and bring them to their hotel. So I will fit your budget. I will drive you. Now it would be in this old CRV, Honda CRV, with a strong engine and good air conditioning, just not in great shape. But I will clean it up before then. Also, in the background, nice background here is I'll think of it, Rock Creek Park, which is real long and goes out into Maryland. And so this is part of Rock Creek Park. You follow that, the water, the creek that's out there, and it goes all the way down into DC. So that's about the boat tour. I plan to do Thursday night, me and George and whoever, and talking about information literacy and his perspective on it, and the music and the fun and the hope, but not planning to go on the boat. And that'll be focused with John and Mark and George and all that kind of stuff. and they have something for Friday night. Not sure about that. I'm sure John's channel will have that. And then concepts from the Serenity Prayer, that'll be the next one. One to look forward to. I have it written down here, but I'm not going to get to that today because I'm on the road here in beautiful Kensington, Bethesda, Rockville, Maryland. But also, some of you caught this. Sean caught it, and Brent knows about it, that Raleigh is going to, she was the inspiration for a character of the Showtime, was it Showtime or HBO show called Homeland. And I think she, you know, it's an amalgamation or anyway, that she was the character on that show. One of the characters was based on her in the CIA, and we're gonna do music and talk and fun, and so that'll probably not be for another month. So anyway, that's exciting that I'll be leading up to it and figuring out where I'm going to do it, and so that'll most likely be on a Sunday or a Wednesday. So that's really exciting. That'll be my first other person on the Good Info Cafe. So I also have to tell her some more about it. We just talked this past Sunday, and you can see on the video from Sunday that we discussed it. I put my the phone when I was videotaping, when I put it on the pew to show the altar, that was on Raleigh's music portfolio. So the question of the day: President Trump administration Middle East peace plan, will it work? No, not ultimately. I'm actually answering that part, but I want to hear your feedback from my great visitors. There's about 24 regulars, and then, you know, some even less, the ones who are here every time. Really appreciate it. I'm turning on my car so I get the AC here. It's really hot. Got my my summer Hawaiian shirt, whatever. And then the grade and priority rating for is the peace plan. I do give it a B right now, starting with the economics is smart. I know the Palestinian leadership has rejected it, but it's a smart place to start because, of course, the political part is so, just maybe like 2,000 years, the most contested piece of real estate in human history, and it's right on my thigh here, right on my thigh. It's just incredible. It's just like, I'm just living this life. I need your help in trying to make sense of it. So how would you look at, if you were coming in Jerusalem, you look at it from the south, that's how it is on the maps. So here, it's about like this. Temple Mount is here. Ancient Jerusalem is down here, and I have an announcement about that. It's really amazingly cool. This is the city of David, the Temple Mount, the Ophel, and the Gihon Springs is here, and the Pool of Siloam. Here it's also Silwan neighborhood, Mount of Olives here, Garden of Gethsemane here, Holy Sepulchre here. Jesus was either crucified here or over here, and during this, okay, I'll use this finger, so I'm not giving the finger. Right here, Jesus was crucified either here, that was outside of the walls back in his time. The wall was about here, and this was outside, or up here. I think the Catholics think more here, and the Protestants think more here. The place of the skull, and this is the Jaffa Gate and Damascus Gate, and the Dung Gate, and the Mount Zion is now over here, and Zion has moved around. It was here, I guess, when King David started it here. The temple, Solomon's temple, was around here. The Dome of the Rock is now here. The Al-Aqsa Mosque is here. So north, south, east. So Jordan, the country of Jordan, is over here. You're through the desert to Jordan, and the Dead Sea, the lowest part of the earth. And Jericho maybe here. Bethlehem is down here. See, I've been learning since November, however many months that is, 7 to 8 months, since I discovered that Old City Jerusalem is on my thigh, the shape. So, love your enemies. Yeah, I think that's it. So, love your enemies even if you have to kill them. And then qualify, in self-defense, you have to kill somebody who's an enemy. You can still love their humanity, and that they just lost it for some reason. You got to protect yourself. Love your enemies, even if you have to kill them. Ruling control freaks don't care a damn about you. Unite the fight, left to right, LGBTS and black to white. The great awakening worldwide. Strap on in for a wild ride. Where is God? What have they done to your creation? Oh, my Lord, you said to buy a sword. Hate can be a good thing if you're hating something bad. Evil is something bad to hate in yourself. Unite the fate, left to right. Unite the fight, left to right. Let the scales fall from your eyes. Watch out for the thought police. They'll enslave your mind and what you're meant to be. Where is God? What have they done to your creation? I don't know why I'm reading it. Oh, my Lord, you said to buy a sword. All right, and then unite the fight, calling all sinners, seeking good. So now the lyrics. You know, what I explained about love your enemies, even if you have to kill them. You only kill out of self-defense when they're about to kill you or an innocent or a loved one who's innocent. The Great Awakening worldwide. Oh yeah, LGBTS and black to white. It's going to take a lot of people to push back at the evil. A lot of people to push back at the evil. And God is the ultimate judge. But, you know, you get that unite the fight, left to right. On the left, on the right, LGBTS and black to white. I understand that, well, the S, you know what the S stands for, right? That could be my other question. Oh, yeah, I was going to rank the thing. So what did I say? The peace plan, I gave it a B. And in terms of priorities, Jerusalem, it might be a second priority in terms of number one priority is the survival of life, and what happens in Jerusalem might be second to that, or you can't separate the two in terms of survival of life. What happens in Jerusalem and Israel is paramount, tantamount, paramount and tantamount. All right, so that's a B grade because they're starting with the economics, and I think it's a smart thing. And once again, the leadership, they all rejected it because they're all taken care of. All the leadership of Hamas and Palestinian Authority, all of them are taken care of. But the everyday people who would benefit the most from the $50 billion. Jared Kushner is just meeting right now. Peace for Prosperity, I think is what it's called, in Bahrain. And they're meeting about that. And then there was also a meeting in Jerusalem with Bolton, John Bolton, and Netanyahu, and Bolton's counterpart from Russia, and they met right outside Old City Jerusalem, but still Jerusalem. So Old City Jerusalem is the old city, obviously, even though there's ancient city. So I just got to get this, so it's not like that. I want to get it, so how do you... There we go, yeah. So if you're looking on a map, it looks like this. And once again, the Temple Mount. So ancient Jerusalem was right here. City of David. It's now called the City of David. They're doing a lot of excavations here. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, and the meeting with Putin's representative, Russia and the United States, and Netanyahu was right here at the something hotel, the Orient Hotel, just right outside. But Jerusalem is like this. The metropolitan Jerusalem is huge. All right, so this is the old city. The wall is 400 years old. This is from 3,000 years ago. And King David captured this little town, and then they moved up the hill. This is a hill going up that way. So awesome, 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 awesome. Where was I? So I give it a B, starting with the economics. Very smart. You couldn't start with the political. It would never go anywhere. But this is, 2,000 years, or I guess when Islam took over with the Dome of the Rock was 700. So it's at least 1,300 years of not really having peace. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. Jerusalem's been wiped, knocked down flat 2 times, I think, but changed hands many times. It's the most contested piece of real estate in human history, is that body, that land right there. And eventually I'll get it so I can do this faster, but that's not it. There it is. Is that it? Yeah. Is that it? Yeah. Most contested piece. So this is 400, but it was built over the, oh, I know what I wanted to say. This is the valley, Kidron Valley. So once again, Mount of Olives. There's a valley here, and they have graves, and Muslims put graves here so that Jews wouldn't walk across, so Jesus couldn't come into Eastern Gate, the beautiful gate, the Golden Gate. Valley, 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 and it goes down and around the city of David. So this is the natural city of David, and why it was a natural place there. It was also up a hill, so it was like protected with the valleys. And then there's the Central Valley, Tyropian Valley, which is filled in, so you won't see it now. And then here's the Hinnom Valley that does go in here and out. So this follows also the natural typography, my birthmark does. All right, the word Aji, A-U-Z-G-I-E, Aji. So we get the mirage, the G as in mirage, Aji. I'm gonna have to come back with the definition, but it's a word that now thousands of people know about. My sister and my neighbor, who is knows a lot about geopolitics and the behind the scenes stuff. His daughter and my sister were looking at a bunny or something, oh, little Aji. And there's Malala too. We won't get into Malala, but Aji is a word, and someday it will be a word. And the ingredients are humble, and just taking what life has to give you, and so try to give it. I guess I need to come up with my examples. Like if I had my button like this, and I was kind of nerdy, can be Aji, but in a good way. Aji is a good thing. A-U-Z-G-I-E. So I'm going to start to use it so you can start to get the context, right? Accuracy, access, authentic, context, clarity, relevance, and refined. So I'm going to use those concepts to pass on the word Aji. Aji. If you're walking in the town and you trip, you're a little bit of an Aji, because ultimately it's not a bad thing, but you're kind of an Aji. So embarrassing can be a little bit part of it. Sometimes you're an Aji, you don't know it. Maybe this shirt, if I was wearing this with Bermuda shorts and socks and flip-flops, or sandals, I might be an Aji. That's more the Malala, Aji Malala, I think, is the fashion side of things. All right, so question of the day: do you think President Trump administration Middle East peace plan that's being spearheaded by his son-in-law Jared Kushner, who's good friends with Netanyahu, will it work? And where does it fit in with Bible end times? Because is it going to work? And then they have the third temple. It's not the real final one. And then they go in, and Jared Kushner or someone, it wouldn't be Jared Kushner, but someone goes in and says no more sacrifice, and then makes themselves as if they're God. Then that's definitely end times. So I'd be curious if people can respond to that. And also the channel, music and talk, music and talk, music and no subject is out of bounds for discussion if it's helpful, So the lyrics, hate can be a good thing. If you hate evil, but hating a person, that you're supposed to love your enemies. So it's really hating evil, hating what evil does. Watch out for the thought police. A lot of that is going on with the technocrat psychos, the cultocrats, the technocrat cultocrat psychos. They're doing a lot of thought police stuff with the algorithm. Just so you know, they're trying to manipulate all of us. Be a critical thinker, accuracy, authentic, access, clarity, the double A to double C to double R, and that's one of the things that we'll go over on Thursday night before the boat tour with George. Will be the double A to the double C to double R, and in explaining that, and then the big picture of the information literacy action processor, the central processing unit for getting good value and information. Oh my Lord, you said to buy a sword. I'm talking to God, to Jesus, and Jesus said to buy a sword. He's sending them out, sending his apostles and disciples out, and he knows that they're going to be a target. And he says, sell some of your cloaks and get some swords, some long knives. You know, I think it's something that's like this size, not a sword, but whatever this, but it meant a sharp protecting item. And Jesus said to do that. And the disciples said, we have 2. And I think out of like anywhere from say 8 to 13 people, we already have 2 swords. And he said, that's enough. So he wasn't saying everyone have their own sword. He was saying, I feel the compassion. He's like, I'm sending these guys out and they're going to be attacked and they need some protection. No, nothing about them ever having to protect themselves. Pretty amazing, but plenty of true Christians, followers of Yeshua, followers of Isho, having to protect themselves. Absolutely. And so, unite the fight. Okay, so what was the other one? The other main one I wanted to talk about is stay awake, feel the resonance, ride the wave. All the answers already exist. You're not their slave. The God you are waiting for is waiting for you. Love the Spirit holy. InfoWars survival. Feel the good energy. And then it goes, unite the fight, feel God's wrath. Technocrat psychos in our path. 1776 worldwide. Eye on the prize and enjoy the ride. That's a new lyric there. So the God you are waiting for is waiting for you. We need to be like Elijah of our time that Jonathan Cahn talks about in his book, The Paradigm. I just finished reading The Paradigm by Jonathan Cahn. Once again, true Christians don't need to fight amongst themselves. They do need to hold people accountable to the Bible. I just heard an interesting thing from Mary Craig, interesting person who's been to Jerusalem for like 9 times, had really cool things to say. She's got a website, but I forget what it is. I talked to her on the phone. She's in Florida. She's older, and it's Dr. Craig, I think, or Greg. I think Craig and her husband, a pastor, just recently passed away. She said, Christians, and this is her opinion, Christians can hold 8 different opinions and still be Christian, maybe on any given subject. That's what I have to clarify with her. I think she was saying in pretty much any given subject, as long as it's a sincere effort, good faith effort to try to get to the truth and still accept Jesus as our Savior and stick with God as much as you can. The God zone, stay in the God zone, stay in the good zone. If you're not a believer in God, stay in the good zone. Plenty of ethical people who are agnostic or don't understand about God or don't believe God or say there is one, there isn't, I'm not sure, that kind of thing. Still plenty of ethical people. And it's going to take all the non-evil people who have chosen evil, all the rest, for these next steps in the end times. So, so the God you're waiting for is waiting for you. God is there. God is accessible. It's up to us and our will. That's why in the Serenity Prayer, I say to perform God's will, not my selfish will, because my will is to be with God, so it's the selfish will that's the problem. So, heaven or hell, what will it be? Caught between eternities, best on bended knee. This ain't no revolution, it is revelation. We won't take the mark of the beast, abomination of desolation. China's social credit score, Skynet even stupider, trying to replace God since Lucifer. Stay awake, right away. The God you're waiting for is waiting for you. So, it's still, I will keep up on the lyrics and the lapping part, the literacy action processing. I'm not a rapper, but I'll be a lapper. Not a LARPer. I'm not a LARPer, but I am a lapper. Literacy action processing. Energy, weapons, and drugs for power and pleasure. Government pay to play, stealing our treasure. Pakistani mystery man, terabytes of Pakistan. Gate the musical, human trafficking. Opioid meds, bioweapons, dirty vaccines, weaponized algorithms, weaponized algorithms, organ harvesting, deep state, BIS, parasitic cultocrats. BIS is the international settlements, the Bank of International Settlements. I think it's either in Brussels or Switzerland. I think Switzerland. Psychotropics ruling class, powered drunk bureaucrats. Antifa means anti-First Amendment. A worldwide civil war is their commandment, confused by the fake news blues. So trust what? Trust your good mind, heart, soul, and gut. Loser censor-free speech that's cowardly shills. Climate always changes, but pollution kills. All right, so there we have the love. Oh yeah, the last one. Love your enemies, even when it's kill or be killed. I think that's it so far. I think that's it so far. I think that's it. Goodbye. Yes, we are in the end of an age. Just what kind of an age? So are we in the end times?